Hey Pokemon fans, Real Mama Eagle here, also known as Key, and today I will be doing a review and a rating of Gen 9 Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. The opinions in this video are my own based off my gameplay, my experience, and overall enjoyment of the generation. If you do not want spoilers or any information about story elements or about the game, I would suggest you come back to this video later as this video is going to have them. Before we get into this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you would rate or rank Pokemon Gen 9. Now let's get started. Let's talk about the region of Paldea first. Paldea is stunning and embodies Spanish culture to a T, and every town has a distinct look and a different culture that they embody, which is really dope. Some of my favorite towns in Paldea are La Vencia and Zapopico. I think they are two of the most fun towns overall, but when I first got to Los Platos, the first town in the game, I was very disappointed to find out that the towns are now purely for decoration. You can no longer go into any buildings unless they are restaurants, and even then, all you can do is order at the door. Very few restaurants in towns allow you to sit down and eat at, so that kind of dulls the experience, because even in Gen 6 you could sit down at a restaurant, but they totally took that away. You can't go in houses anymore. Towns feel closed off and they feel like pit stops, and that's a very big disappointment to me. Outside of the towns, I do think the explorable areas in Paldea are great. I love the mountains, I love the desert, I love the area with the windmills. I think that's really fun. I love the ice mountain, probably one of my favorite parts of the game, and the crater in the post game was phenomenal. But again, because you take away that lore and you make the towns feel like nothing now, I do have to knock that. So if I had to rate Paldea as a region, I would say it's a 7 out of 10. When it comes to pure story, I have to say that Generation 9 definitely took it home. It is actually my favorite story in a Pokemon game besides Gen 5. I think it was just that good. You have so much to do and so much on the map to explore. You can literally just go chill and do all the Terra Dens available to you. You can literally go to any of the 5 Team Star bases, find out about Team Star. Each boss has their own story. You find out that Team Star exists because they were being bullied at school. There's just such a great backstory with Team Star. You have the Titans, the 5 Titans that are all like a bounty hunt for bigger Pokemon. And I love the fact that your legendary gets a new ability after you defeat every Titan. You also get closer to Arven. You find more about Arven as well, because Arven is the son of both professors. You find out why Arven has abandonment issues and why he behaves the way he does. You get closer to him. I think Nemona was a well-done rival. She nags you a bit at first, but she becomes your friend and one of your true supporters. But nothing is going to top the post-game with that amazing story in the creator, you finding out what really happened to the professor, it getting dark, and your legendary getting its powers back to battle. Also, the fact that they strayed from the typical route of catching your legendary late and using it. You got to basically have your legendary as a companion the entire time, and y'all bonded despite your legendary not being able to battle. I would say story-wise, Gen 9 Scarlet and Violet definitely gets a 10 out of 10. I actually had a delightful time with the gyms and gym challenges in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, Gen 8 had that great gym atmosphere with the crowd and all the atmosphere, but I do have to say that Gen 9 was a little bit more creative with how they went about it. There were gym challenges, but what made them special is that they were unique to every town. If you weren't rolling an olive or leading a group of Sunflora around or taking a wallet back to a guy and bidding in an auction, many other gym challenges, and even including sliding down a slope in the wintry mountain, they all embody the spirit of all the towns they were in. I thought the gym leaders were all creative, all well designed, and all had distinct personalities. You had a guy like Larry who hated his job and couldn't stand his life, but he still punched the clock and worked. Then you had Iono, which was your cute little streamer, and I like that they tied into like what a real life influencer would be like. So they showed a lot of personality with these gym leaders. I would say the Elite Four was pretty good. I did like the Elite Four members. I like their Pokemon, but I will say for me personally, the Elite Four and Champion weren't that difficult. I would say the gyms can be difficult depending on how much you level up in the wild and how you tackle the game. So there can be a difficulty level set for that. I also think I had a really balanced party, so that might be why it was easy for me, but I do like the fact that you can rebattle the gym leaders in the post game, and they are pretty much high up level wise where your Pokemon are. From a difficulty standpoint and a gym leader challenge standpoint, Elite Four standpoint, I would say there was a pretty fair competitive balance as far as what you face, and a lot of creativity in these battles and the personalities of all these characters. And I love the champion, and I love how she checks on you throughout the game. I think that's very commendable. If I had to give the overall challenge of battling, training, and difficulty level, I would probably say Scarlet and Violet is an 8 out of 10. This generation also offers some pretty amazing features. I have to point out that I think that breeding got a great upgrade, because before you had to go to a daycare to breed and wait for one egg and hope that you can make more eggs later and then come back and forth, which was annoying. Now you can breed at a picnic at any time, and you can actually carry up to 10 an egg, so you can get a lot of breeding done at once. So I think that was a great upgrade. I also have to give them a pat on the back because I do like terrestrializing Pokemon more than I actually like Dynamax and Gigantamax, because Terra Pokemon are a bit more versatile. You could literally have a fire Pokemon with a water Terra type, giving that Pokemon coverage in a battle they would otherwise get destroyed in. So I thought that was a great gimmick. I also like the fact that the dens are still back, the Terra dens, like the Gigantamax dens were in Gen 8. That was a great touch. You can still do those with friends. Great thing to do off stream. I think the multiplayer, despite me not using it as much, is a great feature because you can enjoy the game and play games with friends. These were overall just some really good features that they add into the game. I also have to say I love the TM crafting as well. The TM crafting definitely gave you some moves that you wouldn't be able to find otherwise. A lot of items in the wild to craft TMs were so easy to find and easy to use. Them keeping the Pokemon in the overworld was great. There wasn't like a wild area per se, but being out in the wild anywhere was pretty much considered the wild area. So they did a really good job with that. Like I said, there are just so many features that made this gen stand out as opposed to others. Riding around on your Pokemon like Arceus and keeping that element was great. I honestly would say this game was a perfect breed between Arceus and Gen 8 combined, and that's what made it really special. As far as pure features alone, I would give this game a 10 out of 10. Even though I think Generation 9 is a top 3 gen objectively and love it a lot, it definitely has its flaws. There's a memory leak, so there's visual screen tearing and frame rate issues that you notice in a lot of places. Even when you back up and notice people walking away from a distance, or even the windmills in the background, you can see them moving at like a slow stuttering speed, and there's clear response time issues in parts of the game and some random glitches. So those are things that can be frustrating as far as gameplay, but definitely something that wouldn't stop you from loving a great experience. I would say another issue is the Pokedex. I would say the Pokedex does have some good new designs like Tinkaton and Scarlet. Those are two of my favorite Pokemon. I think all three of the starters have great final forms, and there are a lot of great Pokemon inspired by Generation 1 Pokemon that got alternate forms. They did a good job with that. But I really didn't feel as though they put their focus too much into a lot of new Pokemon, as opposed to giving older Pokemon an evolution or giving older Pokemon a new form for Paldea. And that's something I criticized Pokemon for in Gen 7 and Gen 8, kind of just pandering a bit. That's always been an issue of mine. I do like what they did with the decks overall. The designs are fantastic. You have another great Pokemon like Lamora. You have like the legendaries that I think are greatly designed. But like I said, I felt like it was too much of a focus on earlier gens. And it was kind of disappointing to go through routes and not see as many new Pokemon I like. But I do have to hand it to them because they did do a great mix of all 9 generation Pokemon in the wild. So I will commend them for that. The last flaw and negative I kind of mentioned earlier was the fact that I felt like towns really felt empty, and the fact that they weren't explorable definitely was an issue for me. I would probably say the negatives, I wouldn't say they dragged the game down, but they are definitely something that irritated me a little bit. But like I said, they didn't take away from the experience. If I had to give Generation 9 Pokemon Scarlet and Violet an overall rating, I would give this game a 9 out of 10. I was originally going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, but then the post game pushed it up so much for me. But this game has a lot. I know that you can't explore towns fully because the doors are closed off. I know that there are some clear issues with the graphics and the rendering, etc. I know that the Pokedex isn't what I wanted to be, but the bottom line is, people, this game is 100% fun. You're gonna get wrapped up in the Terra battles, the Team Star bases, you know, the Titans, the gym battles, and the overall story and just the atmosphere and ambiance of this game. This game is definitely worth buying, and it's definitely one of the better gens, and old or new, you will enjoy it. Do you agree or disagree with my rating for Gen 9? Talk to me in the comments section below and let me know how you feel. Keep in mind, I do want to preface by saying that I very much enjoyed Gen 9 and definitely think that it is a top 4 generation just based on everything it has to offer. This video was more so meant to be constructive, talk about the positives and negatives while also enjoying a new generation. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. I am also Real Mommy Eagle on all social media platforms, and I do live streams at twitch.tv/RealMommyEagle on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.